Yeah, well, there is one interesting thing. Most of the people who've made it to quarterfinals did so by coming top of their groups, which gives them bye through the first round of bracket. Kotte is, I believe, one of the only ones who did not come top of his group because he was actually in the same group as C Rams and lost to him, meaning that Kotte came out second in his group. And yeah, but has fought his way up through the bracket, beating Verdris and Screwloose, who are both very solid competitive players. And then, Lev came out top of his group and beat Corvus Mallory to get to this point. Um, Kotte with, slightly more historical competitive success, coming in the round of 16 in the Summer Cup and the Winter Cup of 2019 and the quarterfinals of Winter Cup 2020. Um, but, definitely this is a game that could go either way.
Yeah, I think so. Kadi, one of those players that surprisingly strong for how few games they have. Kind of a little bit of a. Uh, give me, oh gosh, 1 second. I'm having a time trying to adjust things on the fly here. Definitely someone who is weirdly strong, I think, for how few games that they have overall, but is at this point a pretty experienced competitor. Um, and sorry about this, folks. I am having some issues getting this next game going because one thing I realized is that my stream control doesn't have the ability to go longer than 12 games, and I realized that
Yeah,
during
that does
last
seem
week,
like a bit
like a
of an
problem.
issue for these longer games.
I'm going to be adding an extra scoreboard to to count beyond 12 games, which is uh assuming we need that. I mean, we didn't need it last time, but I was realizing last time, like, oh no, if they go beyond 12 games, I'm gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Um, so
Yes, yeah.
hopefully we won't even need. I say that, but that means that someone's gonna stomp, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I'm not really hoping for a stomp, admittedly. I
Yeah, I'm
do like
hoping
seeing.
for nice close games and good spy party on both sides.
Yes, indeed. And if I can ever get this to where I want it to be, that would be lovely. Goodness me. This is annoyingly difficult. You know what? We'll fix it. We'll fix it once we get into the match, because this is being a little bit dicey. Speaking of getting into the match, though, I believe our first game is Kotte sniping Lev on Courtyard 4 of 7, and because of that, we should go to the draft really quickly.
Indeed.
We have, for our draft, uh, Lev winning the flip and picking player B, so Kotte picks Comfy Classics, Lev picks Swap Block. Where we heard that before? Oh, right, it was exactly this last match. Lev even bans Tayen, just like last time. However, Kotte breaks away from this whole thing and bans Balcony, and then doubles Ballroom again. Yes, I mean, we didn't actually get to see Ballroom last time, which I'm sad about. And Lev doubles Aquarium. Kotte then chooses to play Comfy Classics first, and Lev chooses to spy first. So the first game here will be will be on Courtyard on the Comfy Classics. So
Indeed.
you can surely see my beautiful way to handle the extra score. You'll just need to do some addition, chat. This is math class now.
Sudden math pop quiz.
Indeed, this is now this is now math class. You can't get away from it. We do have Lev on the spy side starting as a rocker here. Let's fix that. There we are. All right. Sorry about that, folks. It's been a little bit scuffed there, but we finally have it. Lev on the spy side, playing as a rocker. Let me get the spy win chance up and hope that works this time around. And let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Starting out at Windows, not pursuing any progress. Looks like the conversation with our seduction target is fairly full, so we choose to join the double agent instead, hoping that contact will shape up. Doesn't look like Lev wants to take it at the moment. Conversation's just a little bit too sparse.
Yes, indeed. Pretty slow start here from Lev. No. Oh, I say
not
that,
anymore.
but we might go for some kind of cheese swap, but yeah, we go for the swap.
Yeah, well, we attempt it, but I think the laser lag is not in our favor.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at all these low lights starting to come out here. Connie does notice this.
Yeah, so this is going to be down to 2 or perhaps even 1 at this point.
Yeah, it's not looking amazing for Kotte here starting out, or rather for Lev here starting out. Sorry. And
Kotte being a little subtle with the highlights as well, not necessarily, obviously swinging around to low light the entire party, but instead low lighting incidentally as their laser moves over them and letting LevTrotskij,
there's the shot.
Talk and incriminate himself.
Yeah, and Lev goes down the first game. Kotte taking a nice win. So far, our spy win chance predictor has gotten the correct game.
Always good.
Always nice to have that. Now, looks like...
I think it was perhaps even a little optimistic there in saying that we had a 23% chance. It perhaps would have been more accurate if it had known that the rest of the party was virtually low lit.
Yeah, it does look like we were trying to frame an SDA, which is never what you want to see if you're Lev. It's just very unfortunate. But that being said, we can get on into this next one. Kotte playing as the character we just tried to frame on Lev's side of things, Kane. We can get that going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Another start at Windows. Not a bad place to start it in Courtyard, when you're waiting for the party to settle and deciding where you want to start off your mission progress. Getting our first flirt, green from across convo for 42%. Not the worst, better than a close white flirt, but still guaranteeing that we'll need at least 2 more.
Yeah, 42% here on the flirts. It's better than a close white flirt. So.
And we're seeing standard statue highlights from Lev. Some people don't care for statue highlights, but they are fairly standard on Courtyard just because of the power of the mission and the ease with which AIs accomplish it.
Can I say the thing yet? Can I say the thing, the what's our fourth mission gonna be thing yet? I feel like I'm obligated to say it once every Courtyard game, at least.
I think we are getting to that point in the game where one has to wonder what we are in fact going to do to complete missions.
There is a printable statue somewhere. The ambassador was just that statue, so maybe Kotte is aware of that. You can see the ambassador through the big ol' honkin' statue in the center and kind of figure out where he was based on that pink arrow. So you can pretty much know that there is a printable statue from anywhere, and Kadi does indeed go for it.
Lots and lots of statue visitors this game. We have a case of 4 characters at statues at once, which is potentially overwhelming to LevTrotskij, especially if Kotte goes for finishing inspects and fingerprints for a soft hell finish.
Ambassador comes up next to us, and Lev giving us an angle for a potential Twitch bug. Honestly, we were definitely very much close enough for that. But Kotte doesn't go for it. Maybe he wants to stick with the fingerprint plan here. And we still need to finish our inspects because we were blocked off by Queen when she was there.
Yeah. Kotte perhaps hoping that there will be another printable statue to complete it all in one, but lacking that is going back for just inspects and perhaps going to go for the briefcase that the ambassador is leaving at his feet. Although the
The
ambassador
ambassador does
shows,
move.
okay, is moving. Excellent. We
Yeah.
are, I believe, technically obligated for this, so this is a etiquette legal finish. But we
And
are
Lev
shot
doesn't
for
care.
it.
Lev doesn't care. Shoots us for the print. Nicely done tracking. Nice tracking done for Lev there. And this is something that you see a lot from Kotte. Kotte, Prince and Bug are the bread and butter of Kotte Spy. So I'm not surprised to see the print action here on this first venue. But now we are going to move in to library, which part of the swap block, and we shall see how this one goes. We have Lev spying as Alice or Ponytail. Let's get that moving. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Ooh, aggressive cheese flirt here, getting the 51% and immediately leaving to reduce our flirt pool down. I like that. You gotta have good pacing on library if you want to complete.
Ooh,
Oh,
bug!
what a bug!
Nicely timed there from Lev, completely off screen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the sniper side, but it looked good from spy side, and it does not seem that we are highlight or suspected for it.
That's going to be huge for Lev. Anytime you can get a clean bug, your odds of winning the game go up significantly, and the win predictor bears that out. We're at 62% right now.
Yep, I would say at this point in the game that seems accurate to me. A clean bug and decent progress on flirt at this stage in library is quite solid.
Yeah, and a couple of highlights that aren't us as well. 3 of those, indeed.
But we do still have to come up with either fingerprints or a second hard tell, since it is a 5 of 8 setup.
You assume we're getting inspects when you say that.
I do assume we're getting inspects. That is perhaps rash of me, but with a clean bug, if we can find either fingerprints or a transfer, I think it's not a bad way to do things. Something with like purloin might be a little trickier since it's a thing that leaves a trace and makes the sniper jumpier.
Well, if we're going to do inspect anyway, we could go for a quick BB into finishing with inspect swap, especially if it frames someone else. Like, for example, we could walk in to statues here, swap for buns, and try to get a contact where we're both in. Lev might be a little bit scarred by the fact that they tried to swap frame an SDA earlier, though.
Yeah, and I will say the advantage of doing that this early in the game is, there is the potential that your sniper isn't looking as closely at swap at, say, 3 minutes or 2:30 left as they are in, the last 30 seconds of the game. Slightly odd path there. It's on screen, but I don't know if Kotte thinks anything of it.
We'll see. Lev kind of burning time away after having this bug, trying to figure out what to do next. Maybe looking for a contact, but the double agent is not cooperating with us right now. Double agent finally joining a conversation, but like on the other side of the venue.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Alice, one of the faster characters, so we can potentially get there.
Here it is.
There's always okay.
I think this is our swap frame.
Yeah, I think you're right. I believe this is, yep, that's a swap frame and full inspects, and it's seen, but let's see what the reaction is.
One of the more important things is if we can get a real contact where both suspects appear to have real. Right now, Salmon is in conversation, but looks to have a fake. We join in with our frame target.
DA also joins. That is also important. It is always possible through the, whims of RNG for your double agent to leave conversation and never
This looks pretty
rejoin in the
bad.
remaining time.
This looks pretty bad in terms of behavior here, I think.
Yes.
Because of how we moved into this conversation right as the double agent
Well, we might not
joined
get shot for
us.
this if Kotte doesn't have the bug.
Oh, I think
Kotte
Salmon...
might think that this is desperation and we don't have the missions, and that seems like it's what's going to be.
I think one of the bigger things that caused us to be so so good and such a good spot there is because Salmon actually jumped out of conversation to go for books, which maybe stayed Cotty's hand, gave just enough of a hint that Salmon might be the spy to give Cotty pause.
Here's something interesting. Salmon had also just rejected a drink.
Yes,
so there's a possibility that Kotte was expecting it to be a purloin and was watching for the purloin from Salmon with a fake BB to cover it, and was not thinking about one of these characters might have bug and I need to shoot them right now.
Yeah. A bit unfortunate there for Kotte. A couple of things working in concert with how Salmon acted near the end of that game to make sure Lev did not get shot there. But that means Lev winning a game on a spy game on Library is pretty big. Kotte now playing as General here. We'll have to see if Kotte can strike back in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
ST goes to center statues to start off with, so Kotte not necessarily going to go for that flirt and get suspicion and a highlight for partial inspects. Looks like we're maybe going after the double agent instead. Oh no, we're going for books. Interesting.
I think this is not a bad choice. Because of how many people are at statues, there's some pretty high activity. Ambassador and Toby are split across the venue, so it does feel like there's a little bit of opportunity to get away with some kind of book shenanigans. Maybe check out this book and walk around with it for a while and have Lev forget. But Kotte just decides to be innocent with it.
Slightly rough as well because you mentioned that the Ambassador and Toby are split, but Ambassador was on our side of the venue, so we're guaranteed to have a certain amount of attention in our area as the sniper is watching for bug. So Kotte perhaps feeling that he couldn't do anything with the book in that case. Going in for our very first flirt now. We have burned a lot of time off the clock with no progress yet, and it's not even a green test, which is slightly rough. Now's the time when you need to start really thinking about how you're going to pace things so that you complete missions in time.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. 34% on the flirt, just nothing else going on. A fake contact, action test ignored as well. I think we're going for perhaps a purloin.
Yeah, that may have been an action priority, with thinking Toby was behind us, perhaps. But regardless, it gets some low lights and burns more time off the clock, and we don't even stick around for the timer flirt. I hope Kotte has a plan here, perhaps going in for the real contact now.
Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but Lev's laser is rather shaky at times. Maybe there's some kind of nerves there,
I have
or just
noticed that. There
or
is
just
some
Lev
slightly odd.
or just Lev
Yeah.
is in a cold room.
Yeah, there does appear to be a quantity of shivering with the laser that I'm not sure how to interpret. But we are now
I definitely
in the
have had that
center of
before.
attention here, right next to Ambassador and Toby. So Kotte not making any further progress yet.
Yeah, we have an opportunity for a bug here. We're in range for a standing bug, but not in range to push the ambassador out. So, honestly, we should get a bug here. If Kai doesn't get a bug
Yeah,
here at some point, I'm gonna be a little bit upset. And oh, what are we
well,
doing?
yeah. Lev was covering it reasonably well. There's a limit to how well you can cover a golden range bug, particularly on library, where it is a really good idea to take your laser away from the ambassador to look at the rest of the party and what's going on. So yeah, and with our pacing as well, I think it's a little unfortunate that we didn't end up getting a bug out of that.
And we just pick up a highlight, and what are we doing? How are we finishing? This doesn't look all that good for Kotte. Unless we get bailed out by Lev shooting someone, I don't see how we can win.
Yeah, and while civ shots on library are possible, they're not particularly likely, given that it is a 5 of 8 venue, and you have to credit a lot of things without a hard tell showing. It's unlikely that Lev's going to shoot anyone here.
Yeah, there was that fake earlier, so that is on the board as potential mission progress for AIs, but down 25
Looks like we're going
seconds.
for a purloin here. Green purloin is. Well, I'm not even sure if it's good, honestly, because if this chain goes until the end, then Lev has zero reason to shoot. So it has to get taken soon in order to induce a shot.
Okay,
And it
there's
doesn't
a
look like there's
timeout
going to
as
be a
well.
shot. And yeah.
A bit unfortunate there for Kotte, just playing a little too slow here. I think we definitely could have had a chance to get that bug. We ended up with a highlight that, like, this is kind of why the going to side statues and getting a highlight is so bad, right? We got a highlight, and what was it for? It was so we had a half a mission, not even a completion, late at the end of this game. It just makes
Yeah.
everything so much more difficult later on, and not my favorite.
Yeah, if you know you're up against someone who highlights for partial inspects, it's not generally a good idea to go and get highlight for partial progress until you've gotten something done, a bug, a transfer, a purloin, some fingerprints.
Yeah, it just you have a better chance of getting away with the other thing if you do the inspects afterwards. Of course, you do sometimes have to mix it up. Um,
Yep,
and
so they can't just low light your tendencies, indeed.
I do tend to, on occasion, go to early side statues, more often against people who don't light for that sort of thing, but occasionally even against people who do, just to make sure that if you decide to low light, you're gonna get me some number of the time. But it's it kind of does hurt the odds of winning that particular game. And so you shouldn't do it more than you have to, I think, to maintain plausible deniability. Lev now on the spy side playing as Teal on the best venue. We've got 4 games of that coming up. It's Ballroom. Let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep. And while I don't like Ballroom as much as you do, I am happy that we get to see it since the last match ended before we could get any of the ballroom going on. I'm always happy to see it. I think it's a good venue, a well balanced venue in terms of mission power.
Yes. Not picking up the highlight for these side inspects quite yet. There it is, finally. And what did we just say, Lev? What did we just
At least we got 2 partial mission progress with this. We did flirt at statues as well,
Yeah, that's
and
something.
and it's not a 5 of 8. So, you have more relative time to go back for that second set of statues if you
And you
choose.
have less to get away with while you're a highlight.
Indeed.
Wheels rejects. Maybe we'll see some kind of option for a purloin. We see 2 rejects in a row. Maybe Lev. I
I
mean,
believe we would be not quite the next. Yeah,
we can.
I believe
We
we're the
can.
next offer
Yeah,
here.
we are next
Yeah,
offer,
naturally.
and we do go for it's a
Yeah,
green
Lev is
test.
very aware of this. Excellent.
Oh, we go for the request
Oh,
after the reject.
okay. Okay, we're taking our own green. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are unaware, how this works is if you have just green purloined and then you request Toby and take the drink, the purloin does not occur. So now, the next
Yeah,
person
Kotte
takes it.
wasn't on top of it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Kotte was not on top of this play, and thought that queen was the only one in the chain. Very nicely done by Lev. And one thing to note about the whole taking your own green purloin, requesting Toby is not necessary. It's just how people usually take advantage of this. They will reject and then immediately request so Toby doesn't go anywhere else. And if the sniper misses the fact that you've been offered twice, it looks like you're just taking an innocent drink.
It's true. You can technically, if you have an absurdly long chain, it is technically possible for you to be naturally offered after 30 seconds again. Although, there it gets complicated as to whether the best thing to do is to reject again or to take it and squander the 30-second chain, but that's a more complicated topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nicely done from Lev there. Getting on into this next one, Lev now up 4-1 in this set. Kotte now on the spy side, playing as Cowboy or Tex or Big Hat Man. No one calls him that, but maybe he deserves it. With that, that's just so flamboyant. Like, look at when you pick a theme, you stick to it. Look at the trimming on that hat. It's beautiful.
It is a lovely ensemble of an outfit.
As all of our guests have, let's get things going in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Pink dress, apparently. I'm not sure that really counts as a dress, but if you want it to count as a dress, we can count it as a dress.
So we're going into a valuable conversation here with both our seduction target and our double agent. Not close to the seduction target, but we can still make a quantity of progress. 33%, that's not bad with a green test across convo. Still leaves the possibility of a 3 flirt with close white flirts.
Yeah, 33% is good enough, as you like to say. We don't like to say that. I like to say that sometimes. I don't know. Do you like to say good enough?
In the red.
I can't say that I ever have, but it's definitely an appropriate sentiment for this.
Oh no, I'm going insane. Insane at these snipers and their penchant for winning games. That was a great segue. Scotty playing with
no further progress. We have the contact and that partial flirt and nothing else so far.
Okay, we go into side statues.
Yeah, we're going in for partial statues. Okay. Well, I know what OP's opinion on this is going to be.
We haven't done anything else. I mean, if we had a bug or something, I'd be totally fine with it. But we don't. We don't have that, and we're a highlight.
Yep.
We're a highlight with
Here
one
we
mission
are,
done.
one of 4 highlights with only 1 completed mission, and yeah, it is a little tough, especially with only under a minute and a half left.
This party's pretty slow too, which means that the highlight status makes it just makes us stick out even more. You can already stick out pretty badly from a slow party if you are being active, but with the highlight, wow, what are you gonna do that does that? What are you gonna get away with at this point?
Prince, apparently.
Not
Oh,
even
well, we
Prince. The
tried.
ambassador walks away with that book, so we can't even get a print here. And probably we might even pick up a bit of behavioral sus from the fact that we were going for a print there.
Well, perhaps transfer then, since we don't have much time to dump this book correctly at this point. Since we also need to finish Flirt, maybe finish Statues, or find a bug. Yeah, not a lot we can get done while we still have this book in hand.
30 seconds left, and I think Kotte has come to the same conclusion, but doesn't feel like it's going to be very good here. Lev not immediately reacting to this, however. I think I saw a laser.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was towards... no.
Yeah,
there,
no,
okay.
he's waiting for the book to be put back.
Which
is the disciplined play, because the mission is not completed until the book is put back. You still have time to look for a random bug or hardtail from some other guest.
Maybe, you know what, maybe what it is, because sometimes you can have issues with depth. I know I have shot people that's on the front pad there.
Yes, that too.
So just making sure that you're not like going crazy and they are indeed at the blue bookshelf and not the pad next to it. That's also one way to that's one reason to hold until the book goes actually back in.
Indeed.
So another win for Lev. It is now 5-1 in favor of LevTrotskij. Did I do all that work putting extra points on the scoreboard for nothing? Mega? I
don't know. I hope that this will become a much closer match. Certainly it has the potential to be. Ballroom is, a well-balanced map in terms of spy and sniper win rate. There are certainly plenty of opportunities for spies to get things past snipers. I am hoping that Kotte can snipe this one and get back on track towards a win.
Yeah, this may end up being the easiest math class ever if Lev keeps on steaming like he is now. But in the meantime, we are going to see him playing as Salmon, and we'll get that going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And hopefully, this time we will not see partial statues before any hardtail completion, since we have seen that on all the Ballroom games so far, and I know that it is hurting your soul, even though you love seeing games on Ballroom.
I do love Ballroom, and the reason I love Ballroom is exactly because you can ignore that kind of meta strategy and go for some interesting plays. So I love, and we actually did see a very interesting play from Lev last spy game, so I'd love to see more of that.
Lev, so far sitting here with no progress, looks like possibly eyeing up the convo with the seduction target and the double agent, but the seduction target bails to bookcase, and we are going to chase her there.
Maybe he had some kind of bug potential with how the cover was shaping up in that party, but it's still difficult, especially playing as Salmon, whose bug isn't the greatest. So it would have been hard to set that up quite right to make sure it was a good bug. We have
another book take. Another book take from Green. Hopefully this one with, doing it without a highlight is a really good start. And hopefully Kotte is not paying attention enough to LevTrotskij to notice if this book should happen to go back in the wrong place. We also have slightly more cover on the blue bookshelf this time around.
We have some more opportunities to kind of walk through conversation and get a bug. And the thing is about this is, because there's no one in the front of this conversation, it doesn't look as bad when you walk through it, because it doesn't, there's a bit of depth perception thing going on there. Of course, the ambassador now moves, so no dice there. The opportunity goes away. And maybe it wasn't even that good of an opportunity in the first place, but it's just some consideration when you see that kind of ambassador positioning.
We have our second flirt. It is white, which saves us from the agonizing 98 or 99%. Ooh, I like the split.
We split. Okay, this is interesting. We split into a conversation that does not have real contact. That is, we go for a bug and Kotte sees it.
Yeah, that was very visible. perhaps
Yeah.
hoping that we got low light for the split. But if you're not low lit, perhaps even if you are low lit, that bug is waving at the sniper.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for Lev. I really like the play is in because this idea of splitting into a conversation that doesn't have real, or at least you think doesn't have real. In reality, at the time that the contact happened, they did. But
Banana bread.
Splitting into this conversation and maybe saying, okay, what if I just don't get credit for this contact? That could be really strong. You're not aiming to get low lit. You're just aiming to get other people credit for contact that you have and the sniper doesn't realize. So I liked the idea from Lev. Unfortunately, the bug later on does not work out. And Kotte does manage to maybe make this a math class in in the end. So 5-2 here for Lev. Lev would need to win 4 out of the next 5 to avoid math class entirely. But we've seen some pretty strong Lev play in this set so far, so I wouldn't be too terribly surprised. But we always like rooting for a bit of an underdog, and right now that is what Kotte is, playing as Teal on our last game of Ballroom. Is this Teal again? Were we Teal last time as well?
We were Teal the game where we took our own green
that was Lev Teal, yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get it moving in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Starting out a little slow, sipping our drink at a painting pad while we wait to see how things settle down. Ooh, we're requesting a drink to get a fingerprint, I believe.
Or
no?
just
Interesting.
Not gonna take that. That is very interesting because you would think that the early drink fingerprint is something that can be quite strong. Early fingerprints in general are pretty powerful in my experience because it gives the sniper a lot of time to kind of forget that you got that print, and drink prints are already really nice.
Kotte deciding this time not to go for partial statues and flirt as our ST gets center statues. It is interesting. You always want to note when your ST gets a mission completion like that, because there's always the possibility of framing. Because they're your seduction target, they're not an SDA that you're trying to frame, and you have slightly more control over them.
Banana bread.
How many lowlights is it going to net? There's only one combo.
So much for the frame game on Irish, because she is one of the most obvious lowlights.
I feel like here what you're trying to accomplish for Kotte is to have only maybe in some other conversation have reels and have them be highlight, and thus be able to get away with things.
Not doing that, yeah. And I believe we managed to knock out all of the statue highlights with that as well, which is definitely reducing the threat and the stress and the pressure on the sniper.
Yeah, our win chance looking at 25% right now. We're not even a highlight, which is what usually brings that down drastically.
Well, we have no mission progress, not even the start of flirt or inspect or fingerprint. So, yeah, I think it is a little rough to get started when you're under 90 seconds and have nothing.
Yeah, and this, as a proud member of Team Do Stuff, it does hurt to see this. We could have maybe even gone for a purloin there. Toby came to us kind of naturally, but now we
I wouldn't have hated seeing that just because you're behind. You're behind in the set. You're behind in the game. You got to do something, and I think the green purloin or attempt at green purloin while at statues or books is always a fun one. And we have one mission completion now, but it's only inspect. No contact, no flirt, no fourth mission.
Yeah, and with that highlight for 3 inspects, trade, we're down to 12% on the prediction. We bump up a little bit by getting that flirt, but though.
Yeah, at least our seduction target luckily checks their watch to stick around long enough for us to get a flirt, because otherwise that would have been very, very sad. But we are still very low on time. We need to reverse rush this, find something.
But we're one of the only highlights in this game, which just makes it so difficult to do anything. We might try to request here? No.
It's not the real DA convo. ST's not cooperating. Lev's got the angle for the bug. Yeah, it's a little rough. I think it's going to be a last minute purloin and hope. No? Okay. Interesting.
We just time out here from Kotte as probably the top suspect.
Yeah, because I believe the only other highlight was Rocker, who had partial inspect, so we were the only one highlight for a full mission. And yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, Lev is not known to be a very jumpy sniper, so this idea of trying to play it slow and even time out, it's not working out so far.
Yeah, I see the win chances down in single digits there,
Yeah.
which yeah, seems correct.
We by the way, we should mention that Redwoods. If you checked the draft, it actually was not in the draft. This was mistakenly played, and so this is going to replace Lev's gallery. They checked it in with me as the TO, and they were like, "Hey, we accidentally played this venue set, so this will replace Lev's pick of gallery. So we have Redwoods instead. So we'll see. We'll see if that works to Lev's favor. I'm pretty sure Lev's a pretty big fan of gallery too, so the mistake kind of hurts. We do have Lev playing as Seek though, and we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, Redwoods is an interesting one because it's one of those venues like Gallery that can be very difficult on both sides. On Sniper, obviously, there are a whole lot of trees blocking easy view of everything at once. While on Spy side, the it's surprisingly large and with not as much time as you might think.
Yeah, we do have a really quick 50% flirt and a green microphone on the back of Redwoods here. Now done with the flirt. Our win chance looks pretty good from here. 58%. It's better odds than the sniper winning, so you're always happy to be in that spot as a spy.
Banana bread.
Unfortunately, Smallman's going to take a low light, although we do
Yeah,
split out of this. This might
quite
be some sort of
unfortunate.
rush. If we... Although,
Yeah.
maybe
Well, no, this tracks because it's you go to red or green bookshelves,
and
you
finish
finish your
inspects.
microfilm, and you finish your
I
inspects.
do understand
Doing it
that.
with a highlight already is a little rough,
Yeah.
but it is a rush potential here.
I would have liked to see this done, just us go to the books first, because then, like, you saw General there was at books for quite a while before picking up that highlight, and so if we had gone there first instead, we might be able to do this microfilm without ever really, before we pick up that highlight, which just makes things a lot easier. Instead, I think we're going to be watched pretty closely. Safety
Oh
off,
yeah,
even.
safety off. Well,
The
yeah, that's
Oh, it's white
probably
test this
just
time as
it's
well.
probably just for the okay.
Wow. Okay, so one thing I want to note, if that was green, that would have been really difficult for Kotte to see, because we were
Yes.
covered by trees for a big portion of that microphone animation, I believe. So if that were green, we might have actually gotten away with that. Unfortunately not for Lev, and we were just that big of a suspect because we had been because we were finishing statues there, right? I think that's one
Yeah.
of that's a bit of a sequencing mistake from Lev there that could have made that go a little bit cleaner. But Kotte finally finding a second point and bringing us to math point. Lev needs to win all 3 of these next games to prevent us from going to math class on the
Math
scoreboard.
point. I like that. We should put this in more caps so we can talk about math point as well as match point.
Yes. And just to give credit where it's due, that was Legorm Janine's joke. I'm stealing it from chat.
Excellent.
But we do see Lev 6, Kotte 3. Kotte playing on the spy side as Red Dress, Hair, or Oprah. Again, lots of names for our characters. We'll get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
A lot of bouncing around as we try and figure out where we would like to start. And
Got
it
a
looks like it's going to be the same start as last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've
Flirt
got a bit of
at
deja
Blue
vu.
Books. I am curious as to whether Kotte is also going to go for a microfilm here, because you do have to be aware of, like, when you've done something, when something has just happened in the previous game, you suspect that the sniper might be watching it slightly more closely, and perhaps you're less inclined to go for it. We don't indeed go with the microfilm.
No, we don't. Not this time around. I'm gonna go in for our
Oh,
second book visit and pick up a
okay,
highlight.
yeah, it's an interesting choice. If Kotte, if Lev noticed us at bookcases, he might be suspicious that Kotte is in fact doing that same play, and whether he ends up being confident there is no microfilm or not, you generally, rule of thumb, you don't want to do anything that makes the sniper think about you when you're spy, because that means
Yeah,
they'll remember you and they'll notice you and they'll catch the things you do.
yeah. That's very, very good point there, Megaparsec. Just going under the radar, having the sniper think about other things in the game is one of the best ways you can win a spy game. That's why active parties can be such a boon for a spy. If the party is going crazy, the sniper has a lot more to watch and a lot less attention for the spy. But in this case, the party's not being too active.
Yep, we have a couple. We have 3 highlights for statues, a few people going to bar, but not a huge bar rush. We're going in for our second flirt now. Waiting a while on it. Interesting, maybe crediting Lev with some amount of watching for flirts, watching for talks.
There's our seduce finished. Nice little bonus for Connie here. We don't go for the delegate, that it does expire.
Although we do split at the same time as our ST in a way that sort of looks like us doing something odd. One of those things that, if the sniper was looking for it, might make them think about you again. It doesn't end up being anything, just pure coincidence.
Yeah,
And
we're
we're finishing
finishing up
statues as
inspects.
well.
I feel like we're not getting all that much attention despite finishing inspects. And look at this, we actually could maybe go for
Well,
a
there hasn't been a
silent game.
contact yet. So, yeah.
I'm
We
I'm
have to.
interested in going for a silent game here. There is a print on the outside statue. We could print swap, perhaps. We're going for a drink instead. Go for some kind
Delegate.
of
If there's a print on
delegate.
this, that would be powerful. I don't think there is, though.
No print on this one. We'll see what happens here. Contact starts.
Okay,
This feels
contact,
like a bad spot.
delegate to hang the clock, and salmon splits at the same time. That's interesting. It's a thing that might confuse the sniper on who was delegated if there was a delegate possible.
Yeah. I feel like
We still
Lev
need
should
to
probably
either
be on
wait for
top of this, though.
purloin. Yeah, or
Whoa.
we're not the shot. We're not the shot.
Whoa, the shot's onto Cowboy there. I'm a little bit confused. Maybe it was Salmon splitting at the same time, as you mentioned, because Salmon was going to be the one we were close to delegate, I believe. But when Salmon splits and doesn't go to bar, which perhaps Lev was expecting, the only other person that has been to to bar recently is Cowboy, and Lev just gets the wrong shot.
Yeah, that's perhaps a bit of luck aiding Kotte out there, but yeah, it's a bit of a comeback.
A bit of a comeback indeed. We now have it to 6-4. Lev's still in the lead, but Kotte has made this a much bigger, a much closer set than it was just a few games earlier. Won 3 out of the last 4 games, and now we are on to Kotte sniping Veranda. We see Lev playing as Buns, and we can get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so we have Veranda now, which is another one of those 5 of 8 venues that are expected to go the way of the sniper, but we've definitely seen that these players are clever and capable of winning even on these difficult spy venues.
Yes, yes, indeed, Lev. We'll see if you can pull anything out here. Well, we see quite a few highlights early on from Kotte as AIs do head into things like statues. We'll see if Lev can make use of the both attention and visual cover they provide. In fact, we see Alice going in for a second set of inspects. Unfortunately, Lev is going to be unaware of that as he is on the other side of the venue. We do go for
Here's
a
an
microphone
interesting
now.
play. Yeah. I sort of Well, the laser angle shifts as we're doing it, but I like it because the laser is focused on the right side where the ambassador and where Toby are, where all of the highlights at the time
I
are,
feel like we could
and
have
not a
gone
lot
for a
of
bug on
people.
that path out, by the way.
Yeah, it's interesting, but we've got half a mission now, and that's certainly a start, and we're going in for flirt now.
Yeah, flirt's always good. Important to have that progress down. Immediately jumps us 4%, just to talk about getting that first flirt in, how much of a difference it can make. 4% between no flirt and having a flirt, pretty much.
Lots of innocent rejects this game. I don't think we've seen either of these players take an innocent drink, or even a fingerprintable drink for that matter.
Yeah, that's true. We did have Kotte request that one printable drink on Ballroom, but then didn't take it, so not really that many drink takes. Going for perhaps the finish on this microfilm. We'll see. Lev actually taking this out.
Yeah,
That's gonna
yeah.
be very time inefficient. Is the thing about this.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. And having done the first action test microfilm, we don't even have the option to dump this book in red. Just a slight oddity with how the mission works is we will have to complete an animation in order to finish this mission.
Yeah, we could complete an animation, then put it into red, and that would count.
Yes, that
Oh,
is a thing you can do. It's doing an extra hard tell
oh,
just for
bug, but
fun.
we fail it.
Ooh.
We
Oh.
we we walk away too quickly. The bug does not happen immediately on the on triggering the bug. There was a slight delay before it actually takes, and we were too far away from the ambassador by the time the bug was meant to take. Here's a
Hmm.
microfilm.
Yeah.
Oh, but the
Ambassador, okay. The laser and twins sort of cover it. It's a little unfortunate the ambassador was coming over to that side of things as we were going. I think we were hoping that the attention sinks of the ambassador and Toby would stay on the other side, but we have one mission finished and a minute left on the clock. Still not the greatest. As you mentioned, taking out a book to do an animation transfer later is a big time sink.
we're gonna purloin here. It's white test though,
Oh, this is
and we're
going to be
being
bad.
stared at
Okay,
doing
the
this.
fade is covered, but I don't know how much of a chain there was, and
Wow.
apparently not any.
Yeah. I think maybe Kotte caught on to the fact that Toby really rushed over to us when we got there. Um, when we enter this conversation and then we request and then Toby just immediately goes to us. Usually he takes a moment to look around for his next offerable target, and maybe Kotte caught on to that and was able to take the shot on that purloin. A bit unfortunate for Lev, but it is Veranda Spy. It's always going to be a bit difficult. However, that means that
Indeed.
this match is within one game.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And so, if Cotty can get this spy win, which is possible, difficult but possible, then we will have a tied game, which
Yes.
is not what we were perhaps expecting when we saw, Lev up by 5 points near the start of this match.
Indeed. Now we have Lev, or rather Kotte on the spy side, playing as Disney. And we'll get that going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Walking near Amba at the start, but not taking the bug. Looks like Lev was watching it pretty closely. And we had a drink in the hand, which also impedes that.
Kotte playing, again, kind of slow. Not even going for an
Well,
early flirt. But our ST is
yeah.
kind of stuck in a conversation where we would be hard-pressed to get into it without
Yeah, we
slamming
could get
in.
into it now, and it looks like we might be going to. Yes, indeed.
Quick flirt, 51%, very nice.
Those veranda conversation circles can be the absolute death of spies.
Oh, I
Almost
know.
like they heard us taking our first innocent drink of the match.
There it is. The innocent drink, it's finally here. Lots of purloins, not so many innocent drinks. Someone like Pwn would have a field day. Low light for innocent drink takes at this point, and then suddenly low light the spy, in this case.
EA joining in quite a tight conversation. We are going to try and take the BB.
How many low lights do we get on
Not,
this? If it's only
not,
3, then that's
that's not
really
bad for
well.
Veranda.
It's gonna be 4. Okay. 4, but still
Okay.
quite good.
There is a limit to the number of real BBs because one of the SDAs was out, but it doesn't look like Lev is necessarily tracking that with highlights. It's possible that he's got it memorized, but that can occasionally be a powerful thing to note on these venues that have many more conversation circles than SDAs.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing who has real is extremely valuable information because it can allow you to hold on potentially finishing targets. It can allow you to narrow down and highlight the spy before they really do anything. It's just such a strong thing if you have the opportunity, if there's not that many reels, to highlight for it. It's incredibly powerful.
It's funny, we have only 3 highlights in the party, and it happens to be both twins. Well, and us now.
Both twins and Rocker, and now us. 4 highlights total, half of them being from the same family. We do get a print here, so there is that.
But we do need to find a 5th mission at some point. Perhaps Bug. Bug is always a strong mission. A little harder when you're high-lit.
We
But
haven't
we are
seen
going to
any
need
bugs so
to...
far. White purloin, though, I think this has got to be death, right?
Yeah.
This has got to be us dead.
Not immediately. I'm not sure if... Okay. I think Lev's seen it now.
Yeah.
Yes. Trying to take low
Yeah,
lights.
starting to maybe suss it out, but doesn't look super sure.
Yeah, I think left missed it just long enough to not know who the taker was, and that alone can be sort of a big damper on your ability to feel like you can take low lights for a purloin if you're not sure when the purloin actually happened, how long you've missed it.
Yeah, a nice little thing from Lev there was he stopped trying to evaluate the purloin for a little while to watch for a green or white swap from one of the twins, because the twins basically went to statues one after the other at the same statue. So Lev, pretty on top of that, being aware of the fact that that could have been a swap, especially if one of those twins got the purloin in, that could have maybe even been finishing missions there. Looks like Kotte is actually going for a finish here.
Slight
Because this, I
twitch on
believe
that
this is
pad.
printable. Yes, printable
Hopefully Lev
indeed.
didn't notice that. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so this is a finish. Let's see if Lev can shoot for it.
It looks like he's considering, but I think Kotte might be getting away with this. There it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double fingerprintable statue plus a white purloin that gets missed just long enough. Sometimes that's what it takes, and we have a tied game.
We have a tied game going into math class. And we have Aquarium as our setting for our classroom.
I feel like it would be really distracting to try and learn in a classroom with a giant shark swimming by in the wall.
I don't know.
I
I
think
feel like
I'd
that'd be pretty
at all.
cool, honestly. That would be like...
Oh, it would absolutely be cool, but I would not pay attention to a word the teacher was saying.
I mean, maybe we're learning about sharks. I mean, I know it's math. I know we've been calling it math class, but can you count the number of sharks in the aquarium? It's one. It's one. There's one shark. Now we see Lev on the spy side playing as Oprah here, and we can get that going in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Okay, ST
Mm.
comes to us. That's very kind.
Yeah, excellent. Lev, perhaps reading the ST's path and where he would go, or perhaps just getting lucky, as happens in this game.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. Unfortunately, it's only 30%, which means that we will need to find a green test if we want to, be doing better than a 4 flirt. But Lev has been pretty decent on those green tests so far this match. Nothing like we saw with Legorv, but no slouch.
Pretty unremarkable party so far. Not a lot of bar visitors, a few statue visitors, which are getting highlights, a few people at books. We're just now getting into our first real threat to the ambassador with some people existing behind Shark next to the ambassador. And
Oh,
again,
the ambassador
oh,
comes
and
to
Lev
us.
takes it.
Oh, that's so nasty.
Gorgeous.
That's so nasty because you can maybe credit that as a sniper, but it's so low suspicion because it's
Yeah.
really only one AI. They've been standing there the entire game so far, and the ambassador comes to them. Sure, yes, they could have a bug, but when you credit that, you're like, yeah, but like it's probably not the spy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cotty probably has a list of about 4 or 5 people that he is perhaps crediting Bug to, and
Oh,
the spy is on that list, but the lowest one in
oh, are
terms
we
of
framing
suspicion,
Queen? Queen came next to us and was at bar, was near
and
the
has
ambassador
had
behind
Bug credit,
Shark.
perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if we direct here, I mean, I
Ooh.
think it would. Oh no, we
Oh,
delegate. We delegate
darn.
behind Shark. We might
Hmm.
delegate to Queen.
Yeah.
She joined us again. We have contact here as well. If we contact and delegate Queen, she could get shot, and we could be
Yeah,
super clean here.
this is a powerful, the most powerful frames both frame a target and complete a mission.
Oh, we we
Are we
we
doing it?
we kind
Yeah.
of
Oh,
cheese
yes,
it.
in general. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of cheese across conversation while the shark was over us. I think we were aiming for Smallman because
Yeah, because, well,
because
Smallman.
we were not directly next to Smallman. We may have been in range of General, but from the sniper view, I think we were closer to Queen, but Scotty may have been aware.
Yeah,
Oh,
and oh, Smallman gets shot.
Smallman
Okay.
had been to bar, and Smallman was closer to General than we were, and we just weren't all that big of a suspect. And Lev, what a nice clean game. We got a little bit lucky there.
Yeah.
I think we did get a little bit lucky, but that when you take advantage of that luck, that's a skill as well. Taking advantage of what the party
Absolutely.
gives you.
And that was just like once we got that clean bug, just a beautifully executed spy game. And where you're potentially framing 2 or 3 different AIs and also completing missions at the same time, that's a very hard game to snipe.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Cotty, but that means Lev is now at 7.6 plus 1. So we'll see if Cotty can keep it even here on Aquarium. Of course, there's lots of opportunities to do that. Cotty now on the spy side, playing as Ponytail here, and we'll get that going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Zeroing in on both our seduction target and the double agent. Probably not going to contact immediately since quite a number of people are out, but a valuable conversation nonetheless.
Yeah, quite a number of people are out, and it's really early in the game. The earlier in the game it is, the more valuable those lowlights are to the sniper, because it's just more bandwidth for the rest of the game for however long that lasts.
Ambassador not threatened at the moment, giving the sniper some time to think, to consider, to
Banana
look around the
bread.
party. This is a much better banana bread. One low light, who was a highlight, but still, and potential. Yeah, it's lucky that Irish was out for BB since she ends up right next to the ambassador with some shark cover.
Yeah, and I was mentioning that early BBs are, those lights are more valuable, but when you only got 2 of them, it's and for the real contact, that's so strong. And lots of reels as well, so there won't even be an issue of you being one of the few people with reel. So very nice contact there from Kotte. Good awareness of that is a good timing. 85% now on the flirt. We might be going for a print here at bar, because the ambassador is sitting there. Or going just for statues? No, we're going out here for a window pad. Time ad?
I wouldn't hate it. We're not that far behind pace. You can always use some more time, and the party has not been tremendously Oh, low light Kane already. Sorry, that was some gorgeous bouncing, and Kane deserves a low light.
Resident Pathing Expert Megaparsec says low light Kane already. You hear that, Lev? Gotta listen to Megaparsec. Gonna finish up our flirt here, and this looks suspiciously like a setup sharp walk.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it either, but it sure does look like that.
I'm gonna be upset if that's what it is. I mean, admittedly,
Yeah.
It'll take a while for the shark to get to the point where that is a possibility, because we need to go back and forth across the bottom of the venue before it is again a middle shark, and doing what we want it to do. Connie just said, oh, wait.
Okay, we're going to finish our inspect.
Okay.
Now, this could be a swap in the back. It can, as the name, the swap block implies, you can block a statue reasonably well just with your body, with the positioning of things in the back, or, print, yes. That's far more likely as a finish, yes.
Yeah, is there a print on bar still? There hasn't been many people at bar since the ambassador went.
Interesting.
There may still be a print here.
We're going to be limited in our ways to find a print.
Delegate? What's going on
You might
here?
as well take it, even if you're hoping for the print.
Okay, nope, no. There may be some idea of delegate shark walk, because it doesn't matter what you do, you can always shark walk. This is going to be a top shark, though. Harder to hide behind.
And we're running out of time. I think we probably need to send the delegate at least to maybe give us time for... Okay, we
Double
do.
split. Smallman splits, Duke splits.
We've seen that twice now this set. And
mission win pending.
Only one of them goes to bar, of course.
Shark's going to be a top shark still.
To do anything else.
Oh!
Okay.
Shark comes off into queen. I'm not sure what
List was taken behind shark. It's possible that the sniper wasn't paying enough attention to know what the trigger for overtime was, and so queen was shot for... I'm not sure what.
Huh. Well...
Weird path, to be fair. Weird path right near the end, but, if you just hear overtime and don't know what to do about it...
At least it wasn't a shark walk.
At least it wasn't a shark walk. We do have that.
Oh, wait, there's more aquarium. I forgot
that we do still have the opportunity.
I forgot that got doubled.
Won't happen.
Oh no, I forgot that got doubled. Okay, alright, fine. There's still more opportunity for... Alright, Lev. We're gonna see Lev playing as Rocker here.
And what's the score line at the moment?
It is exactly 1+6 to 1+6, so 7-7.
Yep, still tied. So we still have, it is quite literally anybody's game. We have seen that these players are both good and well matched in skill, and we have lots more time to find out who will be moving on to the semifinals.
Yes, indeed. Moving on to the semifinals against Rov, by the way. I don't think we noted Rov was the winner of the other quarterfinals that leads into to this particular bracket. And we cast that yesterday.
Rov definitely also another one of those absolutely terrifying snipers, and one of the people that you're never never really excited to meet in brackets.
No, no, indeed. But you still want to fight to get the chance to meet Rov, because the other option is to be done with the tournament, to be knocked out. And right now it is all tied up. A very intense match from the both of them. It looked like Lev was just taking it away, but Kotte just clawing things back very nicely. Let's get this next one going in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Early flirt.
Starting
here.
things off, yeah, with an early flirt and a book. I don't know if we'll end up doing anything more with this than we are taking
Whoa!
it out, and okay, it's
Okay.
just a mistaken SDA low light. It's fine.
I was like, I was confused. The win predictor liked that too for the second it happened. We shot up to 74% win rate for the moment that we were a little late. But now we're just
Being
back
a
down
low
to around
light
50%.
generally helps you win games if you can get it, but it's quite difficult. We haven't seen these players, angling for it in particular, other than, that one split and, the accidental misclick on the wrong person.
Yes, indeed.
Book going back innocently, or probably. There's a possibility we'll do an animation transfer, but it seems
Yeah,
unlikely.
this is Top Shark. It would be hard pressed to get away with an animation here. So we just do this quite innocently. 31% flirt even. Uh, and we're already a minute and a half into this game.
Yeah, and DA is going to the books where we just were, so there's no chance for lining up a contact here. Ambassador's fairly safe. ST is in a full conversation. I wouldn't hate going to bar here. There's a number of people at bar, and you give yourself the option of doing things, option of mixing up the party a little bit.
Yes, indeed. But
Okay, now here the Amba is potentially in a bit of danger, assuming he doesn't leave before the
he's
shark
gonna leave.
comes.
He's gonna
Yeah, he
leave.
leaves.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, we're
Oh,
walking
that's a
behind
good BB.
Shark.
Yeah.
We've BB'd and walked behind Shark to a different conversation. I
Ooh,
talked
where
about
we
this
don't
earlier.
have real. Yeah.
Exactly. Talked about this
Avoiding
earlier.
real highlights.
I like
Well,
it a lot.
okay. I'm not sure what the highlights are for, but there's certainly attention being paid to who has real, because it's only half the party.
I think Lev attempted this earlier. It didn't quite work out as well then because we had the bug on Ballroom. But this time we do it behind Shark. It's the contact itself was clean. I like it a lot. Lev now in range for a bug potentially if you want to take that, but it is a little bit dicey to try to take that with the but I think we might have been watching Duke there actually. But it's hard to say. That's hard to identify if you're Lev because it just looks like the sniper is over you.
We're watching for a swap in the back from Teal. Sniper, very aware of the low time and wary of potentially a swap and or shark shenanigans. And Teal may be credited with a bug there as well. That's dangerous for Teal, but she's not doing anything tremendously threatening.
Oh no!
Oh
Kotte is
no!
trying to shoot
Oh,
for a shark walk, I think.
Yeah, that looks like a shark walk shot.
That because this is another issue with shark walks is that sometimes you just have to shoot an AI because they are in a position for a shark walk. Like look at this panic. If this were an actual shark walk, you actually can't shoot Duke here if the spy does it correctly. But it's just
that's devastating. So we didn't see a shark walk, but we did see the effect of the shark walk on the game, on the venue.
I'm
honestly.
I'm a little bit upset. This is the kind of thing that shark walk being a thing begets. These shots that snipers just are forced to take pretty much because an AI finishes inspects and has a shark coming over them as they are finishing that. Very unfortunate for Kotte, but that means Lev is on match point. Not math point this time, it's match point proper. If Lev can win this sniper game on Aquarium, he will go through to the semifinals versus Rav. But if Kotte wins, if Kotte manages another Aquarium spy win, we're going to go to overtime.
Yeah. I'm not actually aware what the overtime for this is. So as the TO, could you enlighten us?
Yes, the overtime rules are as follows. You take an unbanned venue from your own set that you picked, and you pick it again. And you'll play 2 games on that venue, 2 games on your opponent's venue, and if it's still tied after that, it's just infinite balcony. But before then, if one player wins those 4 games, then they will go through. If the other player wins, that player will go through. But basically, you get an extra 4 games, and then you go to balcony.
Okay. Well, in the spirit of hoping to see more good Spy Party, I hope that happens, but also that does sound like it will be quite lengthy if it does.
Yes, it could. They're threatening to give us a very, very long set here. Lev trying to shut that down, as maybe he feels he should have a long time ago. We'll get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think the players are just trying to make up for the fact that we had such a short set for our first one to cast.
Yes, our first one was pretty short for a set to 9, right? Even shorter. It was 10 games long. Shorter than most of our casts in the group stages, because those do get played out till 12 games. Kotte now looking for anything, really. We might have some opportunity for a bug here, but the shark isn't quite covering us the way we would want it to. I think it is bottom shark next, however. RST leaves, so that gives us a little bit of a cooldown. Here's our opportunity. Do we want to go for this, or do we think that we'd be caught for it? Kotte not looking for it. And we leave instead.
Is content to chase down progress elsewhere. In this case, it looks like the seduction target.
Oh, well, chasing down RST, and RST does not want it. Does not want to talk right now. Wants to go take a break from the party. I understand that. RST wants to go look at some books. Just kind of wind down from talking to people. I definitely do that at parties. I don't know about you.
Indeed. But it does sort of damper efforts to make any sort of progress. Green test on the first flirt, definitely helpful for the pacing, and it looks like we're really trying to get this flirt finished at this point. Hopefully Kane doesn't leave us again.
That would be a bit tragic, but instead we get a white test, 85%. Not as smooth as last time, apparently. Even though, look at Duke. Just so smooth. How could you not?
We do have a fairly active party. There's a lot of highlights wandering around. I believe they're all for partial statues. And yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of ways to split the sniper's attention between, especially if you're aware and watching out for those shark walk finishes.
I feel like Lev just got given a bit of a gift. Pearls was walking behind the ambassador as a highlight while that contact comes off. I think you have to credit that bug. But, of course, then knocked out because of that contact. So a little bit of a gift there from Kotte to Lev.
Not the worst contact, though.
Yeah.
It's only 4 lowlights.
Yeah, exactly.
Decent number of reels, including some highlights.
True. But I feel like this has kind of been the story of Kotte's set so far. We've got context and seduce, and, we're not really a suspect, but we're down to already nearly just a minute on the clock. And that's not where you really want to be.
Yeah. Too late to start looking for prints, especially now that the briefcase has been taken. You can maybe do something with Purloin, maybe something with Bug, but the Amba's not been tremendously available for that.
And we are now down to 40 seconds. And now that we're under 40 seconds, every second that ticks by is going to hurt our win chance even more. We were down to 50% because of how good Aquarium is for AIs getting shot. Oh, wow, a bug here at the end.
An aggressive bug, and that gets us shot.
I honestly thought that was going to be pretty clean. I mean, not, I don't know about clean necessarily, but
You can
uh,
see it a bit, and it's just, even if you don't see it per se, it's incredibly suspicious. Slamming into the ambassador with under 30 seconds left, maybe, you know, that's something you have to be aware of and you have to be very much thinking about, paying attention to.
yeah, and because this is kind of what happens when you get so low on time. You're forced to take maybe something that's a bit suboptimal as far as a finishing route, and Lev does indeed pick up the sniper win to finish out the set. Went up 5-1 really early on and struggled to close things out as Kotte crept back into it, but in the end, Lev manages to keep it, keep it in hand. Was never behind, but was maybe looking at some overtime at some point. Well done to Lev. Commiserations to Kotte. Honestly, commiserations to Lev too, because Lev has to play Rav now in the
Yeah,
semifinals.
that is definitely an intimidating prospect.
Well, that that'll be it for our cast today. If you've enjoyed this cast, we have plenty others on this channel, twitch.tv/spy party. We also have a Twitch channel called 24_007, twitch.tv/24_007. That is a 24/7 Spy Party cast channel that casts from the past, basically, going all the time. There's also the YouTube channel. It's just called Spy Party, where we upload a lot of these casts. And if you are interested in hearing about future casts and future tournaments, I encourage you to join the Spy Party Discord. It's discord.gg/Spy Party. Very, very easy to remember. And of course, if you're interested in getting the game for yourself, you can buy it at www.spyparty.com or on Steam. I think that is everything. Thank you, Megaparsec, for casting with me.
Indeed. Thank you for hosting and casting.
And thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week for the semifinal matches.